Nationals Park. Well, if you're looking for baseball weather, come right back to the ballpark today. It's a matinee. The Nats are looking for a series win. Yeah, some Mets fans scattered throughout the ballpark. You guys will get yours today. It's Tanner Roark and Steven Matz. By the way, Bryce Harper not in the lineup, scuffling a bit, tough lefty. Bryce gets the day off, and even with him not in the lineup, the good news, FP, is some of the other guys have really warmed it up, and that was quite a power show last night.
Yeah, that was a display last night. 5 home runs by the Nats, a couple by the Mets, a ballpark playing small. We're going to go back and check out all the taters last night as Jubal Cabrera, Ryan Zimmerman, ball flying out of this ballpark. I thought Daniel Murphy's was the best one of the night. He got all of that one. But Anthony Rendon, back-to-back jacks on changeups. Here's the tater I'm talking about. So I got a stat for you. I love it. Since 2008, home runs per game at Nats Park, when the weather's below 75 degrees, 1.53 homers. When it's 75 degrees or higher, 2.02 homers a game. So we said last night, when it's warm, the ball flies. Today it's 84. And it's been the tail of the tape for this series. When the Nats hit home runs, they win. When the Mets hit them, that's what they do. They win the ball games.
Yeah, we talked about the starting pitcher still getting every decision in the season series so far, but who keeps the ball in the park from the mound is the guy who wins it, and hopefully today that's Tanner Roark. He's been amazing against the Mets. 6 career starts, 5-0 with a 2.52 ERA. Only 1 homer given up. The Nats trying to win their 10th series of the year. Straight ahead. To you by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you, and by Ocean City, Maryland. Let us show you a good time in Ocean City, Maryland. Book now at OCOcean.com. Yeah, great day at the beach, but even better if you're at the ballpark. Tanner Roark warming up. Gorgeous day. The Nats at home are 13-8. The Mets on the road are 13-11. So it's way over 75 degrees. Ball could be flying. Humidity perfectly comfortable here at 35%. Mets 11th in the league in hitting, 9th in runs, 1st in all of baseball, along with Baltimore and Tampa Bay in homers. David Wright has one of their home runs in this series, a 3-run shot that got them off to a great start on Monday night. And he's always hit well against the Nats. David Wright, career against Washington, 100 RBIs on 23 home runs. So here's Tanner, unbeaten in his career against New York.
Yeah, relied on the off speed his last start a little bit more. Fastball just 58% of the time at 92 miles an hour. Here in the 4-1 win at Miami, 6 2/3. Gave up just 1 run on 6 hits. Struck out 7 Marlins through 108 pitches. We'll keep an eye on his glove. He thought maybe the Marlins were up to something. Saw what he was going to throw, tipping off his pitches. He started moving his glove all over. It's something new, and he had success with it in his first try with it against the Marlins.
Yeah, it sure worked in 6 2/3 down there. Here's Curtis Granderson to lead off. First pitch right on time at 1:05.
He took the first pitch. That's news.
In the series, Granderson 2 for 7, a walk, hit by a pitch. Good numbers against Roark, 6 for 16 career. Fastball up 2-0. 9-year veteran DJ Rayburn has the plate. Crew chief John Hirschbeck over at first. Bill Welke, second base. Vic Carapazza at third. And Tanner Roark gets the outside edge on a 2-0 pitch. Nats a game and a half up on New York. So this is one of those 2 gamers. They either leave town to play the Dodgers at home 2.5 back, or within a half game of our Nationals, who will stay home for a 4-game series starting tomorrow against St. Louis. 2-2 pitch. And the breaking ball in the dirt, picked up by Wilson Ramos. Payoff pitch to the first batter. He gets a ground ball right to Ryan Zimmerman, who can trot to the bag and take care of that.
Well, here's the Nats defense behind Tanner today. Worth, Taylor, Heisey the outfield. Espinoza, Rendon left side. Murphy, Zimmerman right side. And Wilson Ramos, day game after a night game behind the plate. There's Chris Heisey getting the start for Bryce Harper. Mental day off, Dusty Baker called it. So sit back, relax. You remember the last time he had a day off? Pitch hit in the bottom of the ninth, tied it, and we stayed here for about 6 hours.
Oh, let's all hope that happens again.
And then Heisey won it with a walk-off.
I know. David Wright in the number 2 spot. He was hitting third the other night when he hit that homer against Gio. Had the night off last night. He rockets one to left, and this has a chance. It's out. Right into the walkway where the pitchers come out of the bullpen. And David Wright's 6th home run of the year is his 2nd of this series.
I'm telling you, I jokingly referred to Nats Park as Coors Field East last night. 7 home runs in the game last night, and that's how this one starts here today. Second hitter of the game, David Wright, going deep for his 6th. If you missed it in the open, below 75 degrees at Nats Park, 1.53 homers a game. 75 or above, 2.02. So a half a home run a game more when it's 75 degrees or warmer. That's a big deal.
Now, is that for teams combined?
Yes.
Okay.
Since 2008, Carp.
Pretty significant. Inside to Michael Conforto, the left fielder. In this series, 0 for 4 against Roark, career 0 for 2. Tanner's given up 4 home runs now. Pulls the string beautifully on the power hitting left-hander. All that noise you hear from the on-deck circle is Cespedes in all of his gear.
Yeah, he's a sporting goods store.
Tanner has had some first inning issues here and there. Coming in, ERA a very respectable 2.89. There's Cespedes, who's gone deep in this series. Another one to Ryan Zimmerman. Picks it off. 2 down. Middle of the order guys have been doing damage in this series. Yoenis Cespedes and Neil Walker combined 7 for 15, 2 homers, 2 RBIs. Daniel Murphy, Ryan Zimmerman combined 8 for 16, 2 homers, 4 batted in. So Cespedes right in the middle of everything with his switch hitting second baseman protecting him in that Mets lineup.
I'm still not taking a chance with this guy. He's so dangerous. I'll make Neil Walker beat me.
Yeah, even though he's a left-handed batter, I agree. Switch hitter who will bat left-handed. Cespedes first in homers with 15, most in all of the major leagues. A couple of American League guys have higher RBI totals than his 36.
Yeah.
Robinson Cano's at 42, David Ortiz at 41.
Yeah, my scouting report would be simple. Avoid Sports Authority in the batter's box.
Yeah, make him walk to first and take off all that gear. He'll be exhausted.
He can steal bases too. It's not like he's just station to station, but still, he's such a good bad ball hitter.
Lines one to left center. Worth over and gets there. That ball looked like it was heading for a one hop off the bullpen fence, and Jason Worth ran it down. Mets make some noise. David Wright, the homer. The Nats about to see Steven Matz for the first time. DC, the Nats and Mets. Washington hitting .244, 8th in the league, 8th in runs, 3rd in homers. Anthony Rendon is on fire. So his numbers now over the last 13 games, he's been on base 17 of his last 18 games. Chris Heisey, number 7 spot. That bumps Ryan Zimmerman up to cleanup with Bryce Harper not in the lineup, but here's Steven Matz.
Yeah, 92 to 97 on the 4-seam fastball, 90 to 94 on the 2-seamer that sinks away from right-handers. Slider, curveball change to complement it. He has won 6 straight starts where he allowed 2 runs or fewer in those starts. The last Met to win 6 straight was R.A. Dickey in 2012.
So we're going to learn about Matz together. Something has happened with Asdrubal Cabrera, and after 1/2 inning, Matt Reynolds replaces him at short. And we'll see if the Mets reveal medical information during the ball game. We'll let you know if we find something out. Taylor hitting a .190, 0 for 1 in this series. Tell you, Cespedes and Conforto playing him really deep.
Just a smooth, long, lanky delivery for Matt. It's almost like he's reaching out and touching the catcher's glove. So that fastball seems to play faster when you talk to hitters, and the changeup's good too.
Yeah, he turned one over on Michael A.
Here's the new Mets defense. About what? 5 minutes ago, Conforto, Cespedes, Granderson, your outfield. Reynolds right, left side. Walker Campbell right side, and Rivera behind the plate.
Yeah, first look at Rene Rivera in this series as he works with Matz, who is 10-1 career in 13 big league starts. He's the first pitcher in Mets history to win 10 of his first 11 big league decisions.
And since 1900, one of 2 lefties to win 10 of their first 13 starts. It's pretty impressive.
Worth gave up on it. That was up in the zone. 0-2 as Jason looked a little befuddled by that call.
Lefty killer.
Yeah, Worth is 4th in the league at 407. Murphy 7th in the league at 390 against left-handed pitching. One-two delivery. Hard hit. One hopper. Reynolds into the game, and the one hopper found him. And a high throw pulled in by Eric Campbell. 2 outs.
That's a throw from a guy that had about 3 throws before the inning to get loose, that didn't know he was going to play. And wouldn't you know it, he gets a chance.
So against left-handers, what the Nats have done this year, batting average great, on-base percentage, slugging, add them together for OPS, everything. Homer every 21.5 at bats, and RBIs coming very frequently against southpaws.
The guy in the box is only hitting 390 against lefties this year. Hitting 390 against everybody.
And I noticed, yeah, he's 7th in the league, but everybody ahead of him, right-handed batters. That's how great Murphy has been against all kinds of pitching. He's hit .408 his last 25 ball games. In this series, 4 for 8, a homer, 2 RBIs. A monster shot here last night. 85. You could hear him exhale on that swing and miss.
Changeup. Daily dose of conversation with the umpire from Daniel Murphy. Was that close? Is that top of the zone? Do I need to cover that pitch?
2-2 with 2 outs.
How are you doing today, sir?
Chopper over the mound. Charging is Reynolds, and he bobbles it.
It's a hit.
Daniel Murphy has 67 hits on the year, and he just got another.
Inventing ways, Daniel hits Murphy with another one. Chopper over the mound. Matt Reynolds, thinking, I'm going to watch a ball game today, is inserted into this one late. And he gets the first 2 chances. I don't even know if he fields this cleanly if he gets Murphy, but we'll never know. And another base hit for Daniel Murphy. When you're going good, you're going good.
Now hitting .395. Ryan Zimmerman's batting average is up over .240 now. Anthony Rendon's is up over .250 behind him. And now Murphy over .400 against lefties. The value of putting the ball in play, especially with 2 outs on a 2-strike count and some boppers behind you. Not that he's not one himself, but he took that approach, and the Nats have a chance to get back even or ahead first inning. Zimmerman, a 2-hopper, though, to short. So Reynolds will go to the dugout and take a breather after 3 chances in the bottom of the first.
Not in the Nats lineup today. Dusty Baker calling it a mental day off for Bryce, who's been scuffling a little bit the last couple weeks. He told Bryce he wants him to try and do nothing today, to just watch the game, avoid doing too much hitting in the cage or anything. He told Bryce that sometimes when you're watching the game from the dugout, you can see who's going good, who's going bad, and why, and sometimes that'll help you figure yourself out. Dusty said he's also noticed over the years that sometimes when a guy is working and working and working to try and get out of a funk, that it takes 24, 48 hours for all that work to take for your body to memorize what you've done. Maybe that work will pay off for Bryce tomorrow when he's back in the lineup.
Or later today.
Don't miss incredible Coons Memorial Day savings going on right now. That's Dan with a Coons.com sideline report. Neil Walker leads off, top of the second.
It just gives you a different perspective. I mean, when you're always in the heat of battle and you're grinding mentally, you step aside, look at the game from a different way, and it gives you a perspective of, hey, it's not that big a deal. But when you're Bryce Harper and you're struggling, it is a big deal. So sit back, relax, be ready to pinch hit late. But just check out. That's the biggest thing. A lot of managers will tell their horses when they have a day off, hey, just be there for the national anthem. I don't want you thinking about anything. Just be on the top step. Let me know you're here. Take all the BP, the weightlifting, the cage work. Just show up late and unplug. I like it. Dusty's the best at that stuff.
2-2. And Walker drills one to center. He stayed very quiet on that curveball by Tanner Roark. And the Mets have 2 hits. Walker in the series now 4 for 8 with a home run and a base on balls. Now immediately Matt Reynolds, who came in far as Drupal Cabrera since his call up 0 for 6 in 6 ball games. A 12th rounder by the Mets 4 years ago out of the University of Arkansas. Played on their College World Series team that spring.
I have a question.
I'm listening.
Obviously something's wrong with his Drupal, but is he available as a pinch hitter later, or was he on the initial lineup card and now Terry Collins' bench is 1 player short?
If he was on the lineup card and the game began, he is out of the game.
Okay. So he left the game with back spasms, we're being told.
Okay.
So he's not available.
And really, I think once the umpires exchange lineup cards, which is before the game starts, that's when it becomes official. I know for rain situations, it's not when the game starts, it's when the lineups are given to the umpires that authority switches over to them. Target away on 1-0. Tanner's been falling behind a few guys here, and he gets that one in the strike zone to get even with Reynolds, who has not faced him before. Matt Reynolds in this series 0 for 2. Teammate of Dallas Keuchels in high school. And a 1-1. Breaking ball outside. Murphy shaded up the middle. Walker not a fast base runner, but a good base runner. A lot of hitting room right side. He's holding, and Roark bolts the fastball to even things up. I'm sure the Mets sad about Cabrera. He was on a 7-game hitting streak, 3 for 8 in this series, with a laser beam of a home run here last night. So Nissan will bring us this matchup.
Had a pretty sweet play on Anthony Rendon last night in the 5th.
Yes, he did on that redirect. Wow. I don't know. Maybe he felt something on that play because he had to change directions. 2-2 pitch. Tanner still searching for his command early. And a whole bunch of guys watching him. Three-two, just missed. 2 on, nobody out.
That's a pretty good pitch. That's either a really good take by Matt Reynolds or Vic Carapazza missed one. Let's see. Well, close.
There's Eric Campbell. 9th inning home run off Sean Kelly last night to give the Mets their final 2 runs, and for them what was a 7-4 loss. That's right down the middle, strike 1. Campbell in this series 1 for 7, but he's driven in 4. 0 for 1 career against the Nats. Right-hander who'd love to have a ground ball here with the number 8 batter on deck. 1-0 Mets on the David Wright first inning home run. Right back to Roark. To Murphy. Tough play to handle. And then his throw to Zimmerman high. A bit of a tense 1-4-3, but the Nats turn it.
Wasn't pretty, but it worked. Usually Tanner Roark give you a perfect feed. This one, maybe because he picked up his second baseman a little bit late, but Daniel Murphy stayed with it. Had a bit of a tussle with the baseball after he had to reach real far. Boy, back in the old days, you're exposed right there. You get crushed on that feed. But with the new rule, Daniel Murphy turns it successfully. Nicely done.
Runner at third, 2 outs. Rene Rivera, the catcher. First time we've seen him in either series, New York or here. 32 years of age. And in parts of 7 big league seasons with Seattle, Minnesota, San Diego, and Tampa Bay, is a .211 hitter. He's actually faced Tanner Roark, which surprised me, a number of times. 3 for 8.
Steven Matz can hit. That's why they're pitching to Rivera right now.
Yeah, Matz has 3 hits this year and an RBI. Nats just turned their 41st double play of the year. Infield back on 0-2. Rivera with Tampa Bay last year hit $178 in 110 games. Occasional power. Made 11 errors last year, which is way too many for a catcher. And Tanner jamming him. Count stays 0-2.
Establishing the fastball.
A couple of years ago, Rivera hit 11 home runs for the Padres while hitting .252. He hit 10 of those on the road.
Trying to elevate right here, get him to chase up.
Yeah, perfect pitch in that respect, and Rivera laid off.
Look at the runner on third. Tanner Roark may be a little hesitant to bounce one here to Rivera.
Swing and a miss. Good time for strikeout number 1 today. Anthony Rendon's been outstanding. He's been an on-base machine and a run-scoring machine lately.
Bottom of the fourth, Anthony Rendon. Right after Ryan Zimmerman went deep, Dusty Baker watching her fly. 2 changeups for Matt Harvey and 2 home runs, back-to-back jacks last night. The 4th time the Nats have done that this year. Lexus dealers are donating $250 to the Children's National Health System for every home run a Nats player hits this season. So keep them coming. It's for a wonderful cause. Lexus, the pursuit of perfection.
So the Nats go back-to-back, 4th time this year. Wirth and Ramos, plus Harper and Zimmerman. That amazing 7th inning at Miami, April 19th. Robinson, Espinoza, May 1st. Zim and Rendon, May 24th. So Anthony now 3 homers on the year. Mets have retired him 6 out of 7 times, but he has the homer, an RBI, and a base on balls here. 4th most runs scored in the National League at 31.
Costly night last night for Lexus. You think they woke up this morning and said, oh, hope they bunt a few times today. $1,250.
Okay, sales guys, get to work. 0-1, and Rendon fouls another. Just a couple of numbers on Matz that might reveal to you how tough he can be. Almost 43 innings this year. He's given up just 3 home runs, and the league only hitting .235 against him. So he's the real deal, it appears, at the age of 24. And FP, I know you looked at his history. He's had procedures in the past. That's a big breaking ball that strikes out Rendon.
Yeah, Tommy John guy in 2010.
Inside the Numbers brought to you by PNC. Unbeaten in 6 straight starts. ERA, opponent's batting average, fantastic. Keeping it in the yard. Walks and hits per innings pitched, outstanding. He faces Wilson Ramos with 1 out. Ramos' series numbers identical to Rendon coming in. 1 for 7. Solo home run, base on balls. Wilson, though, hitting .351 over his last 23 games.
Well, I guess if you didn't hit a tater last night, it was news. But Wilson Ramos, the last home run last night, the 5th in the bottom of the 8th, his 5th of the year. Horns up. Buffalo going deep.
.66 career home runs.
Boy, Matz has got such a smooth delivery. It's just like slow, 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 and then boom.
Yeah.
Those guys, you have to gear up because you could get lulled to sleep by the pace of their windup. And all of a sudden, he's got long limbs and he's really reaching out to the target, and the ball jumps on you.
Ramos the other way. Walker was playing up the middle, and Wilson hits it hard by him. And the Nats have their second base hit.
You know, the old saying, see ball, hit ball, keep it simple. That's literal for Wilson Ramos. See ball, hit ball. Ever since he's had that surgery, making good decisions at the plate, seeing the seams that he said he didn't see last year, and the average showing that 336 and going up with that knock.
I was thinking about Mets left-handers now that you've brought that up about Mats. They had a pitcher back in their early glory days, Tom Seaver's teammate, John Matlack, who was very smooth, very fluid. Frank Viola would come along a little later. And by the way, some of the talk about Harvey going down to the minor leagues was because Frank Viola is their AAA pitching coach, and they think that he could benefit from some time with him. But we were told today that Harvey will make his next scheduled start at home Monday against the White Sox.
Tell you what, I think he made a huge mistake by not talking to the media last night.
He bolted.
That's just making a bad problem worse. And if you're going to sit courtside with models when it's going good, you have to answer the media when it's going bad. There's been a lot bigger stars in New York that have struggled. Derek Jeter comes to mind, and they've all stood up and worn it when they played bad. And New York, of all towns, and fans want to hear, hey, I stink right now. I'll figure it out. I'm going to get better. I'm a competitor. This isn't the end of it. But to walk out and not talk to the media last night, that just can't happen. That's making a bad situation way worse.
Yeah. Chris Izzy, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Low and away. But I'll tell you, the Mets have a tough homestand coming up. Dodgers for the weekend. That'll feature our buddy Ray Knight and a reunion of the '86 World Champions. And then the White Sox come in. Two-two, great take by Heisey on the off speed.
You know what else, Carp? Now I have to talk to the media about him if I'm his teammate, and that doesn't go over well with players in the clubhouse. So if you have a bad night as a player and you don't stand up in front of the media, now I have to answer the questions that you were supposed to answer about yourself.
Three-two with 1 out, and a fantastic at bat by Chris Heisey, facing a guy for the first time. The Nats have their 3rd base runner of the day. 2 on, 1 out for Danny Espinosa. Danny in this series 1 for 7. Hitting .241 over his last 2.5 weeks. But he's really been struggling right-handed, 3 for 25. Way off the line is Campbell at first. Outfield gives Danny left center. And the first pitch changeup outside.
Kind of see how Danny took that pitch, jumping at the pitcher. A lot of times when you're a switch hitter and you don't have the at-bats right-handed that you do left-handed, it's hard to keep both swings locked in. And usually in the past, everybody knows this, Nats fans, Danny's been better right-handed than left-handed. I just don't think he has the same at-bats this year.
Espinosa cranks one to left, right at Conforto. Boy, Ramos had a big-time jump at second, had to get back. That's one of Danny Espinosa's best right-handed ABs of the year. And it'll be up to Tanner Roark now with 2 outs.
That's tough luck right there. That's all you could do is hit it on the nose. And now See, he stayed back, let that ball travel a little bit. Good swing. Boom. I'll just say this. Tanner Roark is due for his first hit of the year.
He is.
He can hit.
0 for 15. And even with that, his career batting average is still 140. One career RBI, strike one.
It's down.
He didn't like it. His dugout didn't like it. Analysts didn't like it. We're all behind in the count. Roark to center. In his track, Cespedes. So the Nats have stranded 3 runners to start. The David Wright home run, and he'll bat coming up, is the difference.
More Dior's served on May 28th, 7:15 start against the Cardinals. Taste of the World pregame food festival. You get salt and pepper shakers to put salt and pepper on your hors d'oeuvres. For tickets, go to nationals.com/taste for Taste of the World May 28th against our favorite ball club, the St. Louis Cardinals.
1-2-0 Mets, 0-2-0 Nats. Steven Strasburg is 8-0. He was brilliant last night, and let the all-star talk begin.
Let the all-star talk begin, and maybe some other talk. Hopefully this trend continues, but 8-0 on the season, his best start ever. And for the second time in a week, outduels Matt Harvey and the Mets.
Yeah, they're back even in their career matchups, 2-2 now. So Jeep takes us inside some numbers. First Nats pitcher to win, or to begin his season with 8 consecutive wins, and Pedro of the Expos of 97 did it. There's a tapper to third. Third inning underway. Third baseman Anthony Rendon takes care of Steven Matz. First time through the order, the Mets go 2 for 9 with a David Wright homer and a Neil Walker single. Actually 2 for 8 because Reynolds walked. And now to Granderson and Wright. Curtis pulled the ball on the ground to Ryan Zimmerman to start the ball game. So in the series, he's 2 for 8. Phillies have a couple of early runs at Detroit. 2-0 there. Phils are 3.5 back of the Nationals. The Mets a game and a half back. Miami 4.5 back. Now Tanner starting to work counts as the pitcher better than he did first 2 innings. Getting ahead on the attack here. There's that run back fastball. Evidently didn't make it back to the inside edge.
Am I missing something? This police helicopter's been circling the whole game.
To the glove of Tanner Roark. We heard 2 sounds. The crack of the bat, the smack of the glove. 2 outs.
I think a Gold Glove is in Tanner Roark's future, and I can't think of too many pitchers, maybe Clayton Kershaw, that are better at fielding their positions, and the position after the pitch allowed him to catch that line drive. How many times we see pitchers falling off the mound? That's a base hit up the middle.
Yeah.
But he can really field it.
Yeah, he was playing right up the middle on the shift. Well done. So bases empty. David Wright with 2 outs.
If we get pitchers in shifts, that's going to be something.
Yeah. David Wright, career against the Nationals now. 23 homers, 101 RBIs, but Tanner Roark takes care of him right there. That's an impressive 1-2-3 top of the 3rd. That gets his guys right back in the dugout. Taylor, Worth, and Murphy in a 1-0 game.
Second annual 80s night returns to Nats Park Friday, June 10th. Where is he? There he is.
I'm sorry.
Is that Poison right there? CC DeVille? First 20,000 fans will receive a Nats fanny pack, and Ryan Zimmerman will personally perform his air guitar or bat guitar. I mean, enough said. You got to come that night, don't you?
I mean,
that's where those promos.
That guy might make an appearance that night.
You don't even need to read the promo when he comes out playing the guitar. It's just like, be here that night. It's going to be a huge party.
I mean, we've had some funny promos over the years. They might have to retire the trophy.
Yeah, winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Michael A. Taylor can't reach that one. Matt struck him out in the bottom of the 1st. 34 pitches, 22 strikes, his first 2 innings. Taylor, spinning ground ball to the right side. The race is on. He got there. Taylor beating Matz to the bag.
But to your point, Carv, about putting the ball in play, I know there was just 1 strike there, but you put the ball in play and you have the wheels of Michael Taylor. Look what happens. So just a cue shot off the end, but it's in play, and now you get to use your wheels. Look at him put his head down and go. A hard 90 from Michael A. Taylor. Gets him an infield single. That was nice watching him run.
Now the Nats have 2 infield hits. First time up, Jason Worth hit the ball sharply to the shortstop. And remember how well he's been swinging against left-handers. So we'll see how Taylor's presence at first base can disrupt things leading off the 3rd. Ball 1, off speed outside. Two fastest guys in the team, Taylor and Espinoza?
No, there's a guy named Ben Revere that's faster.
Okay.
Than all of them. Tell you what, Steven Matz is not coming set. He's balking every pitch. He's just rolling right through it, not giving Michael Taylor a chance. And quick pitching Jason Worth, and I think he's talking to Vic Carapazza right now. Like, is he really coming set? Like, he's just rolling right through it, and the ball's on top of me. I think that's what he's talking about.
And I'm sure somebody might put a bug in the ear of John Hirschbeck, the crew chief, who's looking right at the lefty from his first base umpiring position.
Oh, my bad. It's DJ Rayburn back there. I messed it up on my lineup card. EFP.
2-0 to Worth. Right on the edge.
I mean, he's throwing to first, but that's about how he's going to home too. He's just bouncing off his belt. And you remember in the mid to late 90s, Carp, when the balk was all the rage, and that was the thing Major League Baseball wanted to crack down on, coming to a stop. He's not coming to a stop.
3-1. Rene Rivera tapping the ball into his mitt 3 times before he threw it back to Metz. Kind of a bear down thing from his catcher here. Been tossing a lot of off speed up there against the right-handers. Murphy on deck. And Worth inside out swing. Short right center for Granderson. It's a big out for Steven Matz. Murphy bounced one over his leap and outstretched glove for an infield hit first inning.
That's a pretty good stop right there, but he's throwing to first.
Oh, 1 pitch. There goes Taylor. Rivera's throw on target. Got him. It looked like it tailed to the right of the back at the last moment, giving Reynolds a chance to make that tag.
Kind of an awkward slide by Michael Taylor, almost like he went into it a little bit too soon and knew, uh-oh, I'm sliding too soon. He took off for his dive into second base about a step earlier than you probably should have, and it slowed him down and he got thrown out. From that replay and the naked eye live, it looked like he slid too soon.
Right now the Nats stolen base percentage rate has gone down. They've stolen 25, but that's the 12th caught stealing. Murphy gashes a one-hopper right to Reynolds, and that's it for the 3rd inning. Started off with a base hit by the leadoff man. So into the middle innings, 1-0 Nats and the Nets. inning of Nationals baseball is brought to you by the RAV4 Hybrid. All-wheel drive and unexpected performance. Visit buyatoyota.com today.
Another beautiful day for baseball in the nation's capital.
Folks strolling the concourse here as we go top of the fourth.
A lot of people called in sick today. Good crowd here at Nats Park. I don't blame them. They've been stuck inside. It's been raining forever. Sunny day. I'm going to take a long lunch break today. Let's see you tomorrow.
Top of the fourth, Conforto, Cespedes, Walker. 3-4-5 for the Mets. The shift is on. Murphy short right field. Espinosa on the grass, just right of up the middle. And Tanner Roark misses away with his 46th pitch. He's thrown 28 strikes. Still trying to get a handle on that swing back fastball to lefties. That's a great changeup away. Counts 2-2. Cespedes hit a rocket to Worth in left center first time.
.50 pitches already for Tanner.
Yeah, he was at 45 through 3, and Matz is at 46. Took a little bit off and struck him out on a 3-2 pitch. Tanner Roark, second K.
So watch the first at bat. Trying to get Cespedes to chase something out of his zone. Finally on 2-0, he throws him a strike. And then the 2-1 pitch was a sinker in, and it did get in a little bit on Cespedes, because if it didn't, it would be in the seat. So good sequence by Tanner Roark, Wilson Ramos. It's not real urgent to throw Cespedes strikes early, because he's going to swing and he'll chase.
Strike call.
You got fluorescent yellow, fluorescent orange. He's a bright player. It's a good take.
Yeah, pretty good breaking ball by Roark.
I mean, and arguably the MVP of the National League in the first quarter plus of the season.
Big spark for them last year. 17 homers, 44 RBIs in 57 games.
I mean, you remember last year all the talk was, would he give Bryce a run for MVP just playing a half a season or whatever in the National League with what he did for the Mets?
So he hit 35 last year, drove in a combined 105. He had 5 hits in the division series, 4 in the LCS, and 3 in the World Series. Then that's out of play, the count full with 1 out. Into the 2 o'clock hour here at Nationals Park. A lot of kids here. It was weather day for them earlier this morning. They were all seated up above the visitors' dugout, third base side. Having a great time, winning some prizes, and now they get to see a big league ball game. Now that's a big league, big hop for Danny Espinosa. 2 outs, bases empty with more on Tanner. Here's Dan.
Bob, they have a stat for everything now. ESPN Info has a stat on lowest hard hit rate. It's the lowest percentage of balls a pitcher throws that are hit hard by the batter. It's a little bit subjective, but Tanner Roark ranks 4th among all major league starters, up there with Syndergaard, Kershaw, Kenta Maeda. A little over 8% of all pitches he throws are being hit hard. So Tanner Roark avoiding that hard hit contact so far this season, helping him post that ERA that's now back under 3.
Yeah, staying away from barrels.
Pitching to bad contact.
Yeah, that's what pitching to contact really means, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you pitch to contact, you have a 6 ERA if they're not, in the right quadrants.
They're not staying in the yard.
Neil Walker, base hit right up the middle first time. Not a full-blown shift here. And this one right to Daniel Murphy. 1, 2, 3 for Tanner Roark. Started with a double play in the second. He's retired 8 in a row. Zimmerman, Rendon, and Ramos. That's 1-0. George looking great. Teddy in pursuit around the home stretch. They let him run today. No nonsense, no subplots. Just some strong legs on a beautiful afternoon. And George takes the belt.
I like that. I don't have to sit here and figure out what it was for 3 innings. Nice. Just go fast. Run till they tag you.
Go fast until you feel that tape. Bottom of the 4th, Ryan Zimmerman bounced out to short first time. Coming into this game, Ryan last 21 games, 14 RBIs, 12 runs, batting average over 260, so he's making a steady climb. Rivera held it there for a while, didn't get the call from DJ Rayburn.
See if Steven Matz goes challenge fastball here in a 2-1 count, or he goes to the change. Both pitchers have had good changeups today.
Zimmerman hits it the other way. Nifty backhand pickup by Campbell. A long underhand toss to Matz for the first out. Follow Nationals Baseball live with the most prolific app in all of Major League Sports, MLB.com at bat. Stay up to the moment. Game day, live game video highlights, StatCast. Download it. MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and tablet. Anthony Rendon, strikeout victim, swinging first time.
You know why they just ran the race today? It's National Wine Day. And they couldn't, do a skit to that. Unless they just want to like run in circles and run into each other.
National Wine Day.
Yeah.
That'll help a lot of people get over the hump.
Just all have bottles and run wherever.
Way inside, 2-1.
Seeing a lot of 93s and 94s sneak past the Nats hitters, and that just gives you an idea that his fastball's got late life, and you know, his stride and where he's releasing it, he's right on top of you. If you look at the dirt where Tanner Roark's stride is and where Steven Matz's is about, I don't know, a foot further than Roark's, his landing spot. So he's getting closer to the hitter with his frame.
Off speed, and Rendon manages to foul it. The hole at bat from Mercedes. Funny action off that swing.
No curveball for a strike, then you throw a little bit shorter and get the hitter to chase. Good foul ball by Rendon, buying himself another chance.
Fastball's going to strike him out. Rendon thought it was up. Matt's third K of the day, second to Anthony.
Well, Rene Rivera took a pitch that was at the top of the strike zone and framed it lower. And DJ Rayburn bought what he was selling.
Ramos, solid hit. First time up. The opposite way. This is a two-hopper cut off by David Wright. And now the Nats go quietly in the fourth inning. So Matz has retired 5 in a row. Roark 8 straight 1-0 game.
New contour, get right to the good stuff. 1-0 Mets. David Wright with his 22nd career homer against the Nats. The difference in this one, it was the second pitch of his first at bat, a fastball right down the middle. And David Wright, who's had trouble catching up to the fastball in this series, got that one. The home run he hit off Gio was a changeup, but he caught that one out front. Nice swing.
Tanner Roark for inning number 5. nearly pitch for pitch, matching each other. Tanner 59, Matt's 58. Matt Reynolds walked first time up after coming in for the injured Asdrubal Cabrera, who was in the lineup, and before he ever took the field suffered back spasms and they had to replace him. Reynolds in the series, 0 for 2 with a walk. And 1-2 now to the Mets shortstop. He bounces it. One other game in the National League this afternoon. St. Louis at home, 1-0 over the Cubs, who hung 12 on them last night to win their 30th game of the year. Nats will see Mike Leake, Jaime Garcia, Adam Wainwright, and Michael Wacha in that 4-game series. Joe Ross tomorrow, Max Scherzer Friday, pardon me. Two balls, two strikes.
Cardinals are coming to town, just like you said, Carp. May 26th to the 29th. Nats swept them at Busch Stadium earlier this year. So come out and cheer for the home team. Jason Worth insists on it. Visit Nationals.com for tickets. Cardinals coming to town.
Yeah. Gio Saturday, Strasburg Sunday. Tanner's still trying to get that fastball to run back. He's gone to a 3-2 count here. Pretty good day when you can battle, and through 4 innings you've given up only 2 hits and a walk. And Reynolds has spoiled some 2-strike pitches here. But that pitch count mounting. Roark 2 outs into the 7th inning at Miami. The last time out on Friday. And a good battle by Matt Reynolds.
Leaning out over that plate, might be susceptible to anything hard in.
Drills it to right. Very impressive at bat. So Reynolds goes the other way. That's his first major league hit. And they throw it to the Mets dugout. He was 0 for 6 with a walk before that line drive.
Well, he'll remember that at bat for the rest of his life in a lot of ways. Your first major league hit, a 9-pitch gem. Getting on top, fastball down the middle, low line drive to right.
That was impressive. So he's seen 16 pitches and 2 ABs. Here's Eric Campbell.
You just never know in this game. You come to the ballpark, you're not playing. Guy in front of you has back spasms. You get in the game and you get your first major league hit. How about that?
And in the first inning, 3 balls finds you.
Yeah.
I just said that. Well, let's see what Roark can do here on 0-2. Campbell bounced one back to him for a double play last time. Number 8 man, the catcher Rivera on deck. Swing and a miss for the strikeout. That was 83, and it got inside on Campbell, who couldn't touch it. That's number 3 for Tanner Roark.
Kind of a backup slider working for Tanner Roark. Campbell's thinking it's going to break down the way. It stays up and in. So he's swinging where he thinks it's going to be based on the rotation that he picks up, and the ball doesn't go there. And you see him blink on the Exmo. It looked like he was swinging with his eyes closed.
Here's Rene Rivera. Roark struck him out first time. There's that high strike. The one that Rendon didn't like last half inning. And the count's 0-1. One nothing ball game, top of the 5th. Mets and the Nationals play low scoring games as a rule. Mets second lowest when they put their own runs and their opponents' runs together. The Nats are third lowest.
I feel like every game's been 7-1.
I know, that's what's weird about it. So against everybody else, when these teams play tight, Philly's the only team in baseball with a lower combined for and against run total than New York and Washington. But this season series has featured a bunch of 7-run games. 7 seems to be the magic number for the Nats. For baseball fans and pizza lovers. And now the count 2-2 on Rivera. Two with one out. Big swing on a big breaking ball. Ramos smothers it. I don't know if that ball came up and got Wilson somewhere painful, but he's kind of moving around and flexing things in pain after 2 outs. Paul Lessard, the trainer, coming out.
That got him where you don't want to get got.
So the base is not empty. Reynolds still at first, 2 outs, and Steven Matz, the pitcher, coming up.
It's going to take a minute. It'll make you sweat. It'll make you see stars. And it makes you feel like you're going to pass out. Oh, man. Buffalo's in some serious pain.
Crowd responds. Wilson, the everyday guy behind the plate this week, even with Gio pitching the other night. Last time Jose Lobaton started was Saturday night in Miami against Jose Fernandez.
Somebody said something funny out there.
So Ramos has caught every game but one over the last week. And every game but two over the last week and a half.
That's about setting hitters up, and I had a feeling, I just asking the truck to pull up that number, and I had a feeling second and third time were better. Why? Well, he gets into the flow of game, gets his rhythm standard, but he's so good at breaking out different pitches second and third time that you haven't seen first time, and getting you thinking with him and getting you thinking improperly with him. That's why I feel like he had trouble as a reliever last year. If you're just going to face 3 hitters in an inning, you don't have a chance to set them up like we saw him in 14 setup hitters. So right when you think you know what's coming with Tanner, you don't. And that's why if he was tipping his pitches against the Marlins, it was so important for him to figure that out.
Sure.
Start moving that glove around so you didn't know what was coming, because that's his biggest strength. He's a competitor. He's old school. He's coming right after you, but he gets you thinking with him, and it's over.
That tells you something about the man.
A smart pitcher.
His intelligence out there.
He's like, I did this to you last time. He's reading swings constantly, and I'm going to do this to you second time and this to you third time. And it's never the same.
On an 0-2 pitch, Steven Matz fouls it off. He was up there first pitch swinging last time, hit a ground ball to Anthony Rendon.
How about his first day as a major leaguer? He drove in 4 runs in his major league debut. Matz did 3 hits, 4 RBI. First pitcher on record since 1914 to have 3 hits and 4 RBI in his major league debut.
Yeah, they went crazy over that last year in New York.
Grew up in Long Island, about an hour from Citi Field. Lifelong Mets fan. He does that in his debut. That's pretty impressive.
A ball drilled to center. My goodness. Right at Michael A. Taylor. And that's a good thing. So the Mets have stranded 2 of the 3 hits they've had against Tanner Roark, pitching great. The Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the expressed written consent of the Washington Nationals.
1-0 still in the David Wright home run in the top of the first inning. If you're at home right now, change seats. If you're at your office, change seats. But you don't have to change seats on Ladies Night, June 30th. With a special ticket, you can enjoy pregame activities, including trivia, a player appearance, a DJ, a fashion show, tailgate games, and a visit from the Racing Presidents. You also get an exclusive Nationals Infinity scarf that you see there on the right. The Nats take on the Reds at 7:05. Purchase your tickets. Visit nationals.com/Ladies Night. Cool in the gang, baby. You got Ladies Night, 80s Night, and anything that rhymes with those coming up. Mercedes Night.
No, that would be big.
That would be huge. At first 20,000 fans get a free Mercedes-Benz.
Chris Heisey, pop fly right side in pursuit. And no room for Eric Campbell.
Eric Campbell lost that in the sun. He was running over there. He just bailed on it. He's seen stars.
Yeah, sun just off to the third base side over the grandstand. Wow. 0-2 pitch. Heisey can't believe it. That's a guy who hardly ever says anything to an umpire. Mercedes-Benz will track it.
Well, Rene Rivera is pulling these high pitches down, and DJ Rayburn's buying it. So he's called the low strike, he's called the high strike. And as a hitter, it's got to be one or the other, because you can't cover the low part of the zone and the high part of the zone. That'll frustrate you. It's like calling pitches off the plate on both sides, too. DJ Rayburn saying enough. I hear you. Chris Heisey still chirping down the dugout, and you can see why. Doesn't want to hear anymore. He just threw somebody out of the game.
Who got tossed? Rick Shue just tipped his cap and waved to the umpire, and the Nats hitting coach has been ejected.
Well, he might have wore it for a player, and that's what a good hitting coach does. If a player's chirping, he'll chirp louder so that the umpire sees he's the guy that's yelling, and maybe he wants Chris Heisey to stay in the game. So that's actually a good thing by Rick Shue. And you saw his body language. He's saying the catcher's standing up to catch that strike.
Danny Espinosa stung the ball first time up. 2 men on, 1 out. That was a big play back in the second. He hit it right at Conforto and left. Gets under this one. Cespedes fighting the sun, staying quiet and relaxed. 2 outs. When you have insight, you know how to handle your finances with confidence. Brought to you by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you. Pedro Severino's a young catcher we like a lot. 255, 7 extra base hits, 8 RBIs. He's active, athletic, great arm behind the plate. Just 22 years of age.
Tanner's due.
0 for 16. Matt's working quickly. He's known for that, and he's smelling a very quick inning here.
Working quickly, has a big zone, taking advantage of it.
Target in. Roark swing and a miss. 2 Ks in this inning, 5 on the day. Roark and Matz matching up very well. Mets 1-0. Having quite a day. He's retired. 11 of the last 12 Mets. He has fielded his position well to the tune of a double play. And look out here, the Granderson line drive. So along with some good defense, some strikeouts as well. Tanner has fanned 4, 81 pitches, 52 strikes in 5 effective innings.
They're trying to tread water until they can figure out Steven Matz. Time for Toyota K's for Kids. Washington area Toyota dealers want to help children and their families by making a $37 donation to the Children's Inn at NIH for every strikeout by an Nats pitcher this season.
Top 6, Granderson, Wright, and Conforto. Shift on Murphy and Wright. Rendon staying close enough to third to give Granderson at least something to think about if he would try to bunt. And then with 2 strikes, you might see him move way over to his left. Target in. Strike 2. Rendon retreating.
I mean, he's done all of this today, and he's been spectacular without his secret weapon, the front hip sinker to lefties. That first one to Granderson might have been the best one he's thrown today, but you know, when he's throwing it right at him and freezing him and it's coming back like that, that's when he's locked in.
Strikeout number 5.
And who knows, if Granderson takes that, it might have been a strike the way the zone has been today.
So Nissan tracking a pitch up for strikeout number 5. David Wright is the difference in this game. One swing he took in the first inning when he just rifled one over the head of Jason Worth and right into the bullpen sidewalk out there. There's a little cage area there where the relievers finished their warm-up tosses and walked to the field. He put it right up the alley there behind Jason. Broken bat, one hopper. Rendon stays with it. Tricky play, and then Ryan Zimmerman has to tag David Wright. 2 outs. Mets box 3 hits all day. The Wright homer, 1 out first inning. Neil Walker leadoff single second inning. He was stranded. Matt Reynolds first major league hit leading off the 5th inning. He was stranded. First pitch off speed, a beauty. Two and one.
Got him with a nasty 3-2 changeup last time. See if he goes to the well again.
Yeah, tight ball game. He won Cespedes leading off the 7th. So he had a pitch to play with, and now it's 3-2.
See, that was a strike last inning. The height
didn't
of that
get the
pitch.
call, did he?
It's the same pitch. Inconsistent.
Tanner Roark's second walk of the day. And now he has to deal with Yoenis Cespedes.
Look, he can't believe it in right field. He's like, I just got rung up on that same pitch.
Exactly. He got rung up and the hitting coach got run.
Similar.
So it's Cespedes now. Line drive to left, ground ball to short. Danny Espinosa, his toes to the dirt. He's actually standing on the outfield grass. Murphy up the middle. And Cespedes will throw out his arms and get out of Dodge. Drills it to center. Here comes Taylor. He will get there. Top of the order, bottom of the sixth. Michael A. followed by Worth and Murphy. 1-0 Mets. Mets, 0-3-0 Nats. It's getting late. Bottom of the sixth. Taylor's going to lay one down and sprint to first. Matz is going to glove it, turn around, and throw him out.
Pretty good idea by Michael Taylor. Just hit it off the end of the bat. He was trying to push that hard toward Neil Walker, and the pitch just kind of tailed away. He ran out of room and didn't bunt it hard enough. Still had to make a good play to get him. Good idea.
Yeah, that was still really close. So the Nats box. Murphy infield hit first inning. Ramos a hit. Heisey a walk second inning. Taylor caught stealing after his third inning leadoff hit. And the Nats haven't had one since. So that's 9 in a row for Matz. Warming up as the afternoon does along with Tanner Roark. Worth a grounder to short, fly ball to right. Second time he's gotten in on Jason's hands.
I mean, just seeing foul balls after foul balls by Nats hitters and hitting counts, and that just tells me that you can throw the radar gun out. His fastball's jumping on him. Just read some swings. His off speed has been good enough to complement that, but he's sneaky. I mean, 95, 94, if that can be sneaky, it is.
1-2. Worth gets jammed again. Into center for Cespedes. Here's Daniel Murphy, 1 for 2 today. Looking for another multi-hit game, by the way. He has 23 of them. That's right in the middle of the table of excellence for him. Batting average, hits, on-base percentage, and he's slugging as well. Then he shows up in other places like runners in scoring position, extra base hits. Lefties, righties. He could drive a Jeep with the wheel on the left hand or the right side. Inside, ball 1. Rivera tried to frame that. Maybe Murphy framed it better by jumping away. That sounded like a busted bat. So the Nats are playing their 47th game of the year today. Murphy is playing his 46th. And in half of those games, he's had 2 hits or more.
Dan should wear a helmet like that photographer, I feel like.
Be a great look.
Yeah.
Great look with the shades, Dan.
That matte black helmet he's got on. Dan, you got to wear that.
Some work gloves in a day game, some steel-toed shoes.
Chin strap, mouthpiece, helmet. Just, I mean, he's smart. He's the smartest guy out of all of us.
We call him Yoenis Coco with all that.
I call him the Great Gazoo.
1-1 to Murphy. That fastball drilled in there. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Tremendous poise for a young man, 24 years of age, making his 13th start. By the way, he'll have a birthday in a couple of days.
But you see that swing right there by Daniel Murphy? He asked DJ Rayburn after the last pitch, is that as far out as we're going with the strike zone away? Rayburn's answer probably yes. So now he knows in his mind, I have to cover that pitch. So maybe he takes this pitch if the last one was a ball, but now he has to go out there and cover it. That's why he gathers so much information every at-bat from an umpire. He wants to know what they're thinking.
1-2. And Nats was walking toward the third base dugout. Mercedes-Benz will give us a look here.
Pretty good pitch, but Daniel Murphy, we just showed you he's first in everything. And maybe the relationship he builds with umpires throughout the course of the season in a game gets him calls here or there.
On the next pitch, he lines one but hooks it foul.
Practicing his swing with his lower half. Pretty good average with 2 strikes on the year.
Yeah, name an offensive category in the league, and he's in it, other than home runs and RBIs. And his RBI total, not bad at all. It's actually in the top 10 with his 30, and that'll get him. So Mats continues to dominate the Nats to the 7th in a 1-0 game. Leonis Martin of Seattle, third walk-off homer for that ball club last night against the A's, and they're 9 games over 500 atop the AL West. David Ortiz, right behind Robinson Cano for the major league lead in RBIs. Jenmar Gomez, we'll see him in Philly next week. How about him? The leader in saves with the Phillies hanging tough. So Philadelphia has 25 wins. He has saved 16 of them.
It's because they're all one-run games.
How about that? 14 of those.
So many chances.
Walker, Reynolds, and Campbell, top of the 7th. Neil Walker has singled and grounded out to Daniel Murphy.
Tanner Roark's other attribute that's tough when you're a hitter is he throws balls that look like strikes and strikes that look like balls. There's so many called strikes when he pitches because as a hitter, either A, you're looking for something else, or B, you're giving up on the pitch because it has so much late movement.
Here comes pitch number 100. 2-2 count. Espinosa just walked about 10 feet to his left up the middle, and he almost got to the line drive. 2 for 3 day for Neil Walker, who in this series is now 5 out of 10. It'll bring in Reynolds, first major league hit. Clean single to right center last time up.
That 121, I believe, was on his 15 strikeout game.
Yes, it was. Against the Twins, April 23rd. 3 walks, 15 Ks. You'll throw a few that day.
Yeah.
Reynolds a walk and a single after replacing Asdrubal Cabrera. In the zone, bottom part, strike 1.
Base hit to right last time up. Majority of the pitches were away to Reynolds. This time you figure we're talking about Tanner Roark changing up the look. Maybe try him in. Maybe try soft.
Tries to pull a pitch away. Fair ball. Rendon to Murphy. They'll settle for 1 as Murph had to go stretch backhand side. 5-4 on the fielder's choice. Potomac Nationals are in town for another 5 days after tonight. So the Lucas Giolito t-shirt giveaway now is Friday. Harper bobblehead Saturday. Bark in the Park Sunday. 703-590-2311 or visit PotomacNationals.com. Eric Campbell, the hitter, double play ball and a swinging strikeout. That's how good Tanner Roark has been today. The bottom of the Mets order, batting for just the 3rd time, and we're in the 7th inning. And you could say the same about Steven Matz, the middle of the Nats order, about to bat for the 3rd time.
This game will drive you nuts. 7 home runs last night, 6 hits today, 7 hits today.
Yeah. On a day when it's 84 at game time, and you know the ball, if hit well, will be jumping and flying. Big crowd for the matinee.
Day game after night game. We see it all the time.
protecting that inside edge. Nats have turned one double play today. Off the bat of Campbell. Roark has him 0-2. Ramos moves to the outside half. Blake Trinan, Oliver Perez, the former Met.
It's even got Flair warming up.
Wow, he was 50 feet from home plate when that pitch was caught. And the 0-2. Bouncing ball. Murphy right through him. Into left field, or rather center field, and over to third goes Reynolds. Daniel Murphy's 5th error of the year. But Tanner Roark should be out of the inning.
Kind of see that coming as he shuffles to his right. It never really had a beat on it. You could just see it. I don't know if it's just because he didn't get over there or he got a little flat-footed at the end, but you could see that one developing. At least from up here you could.
That is huge if the Mets cash in now. It's Rivera, the number 8 hitter. Steven Matz, the pitcher, on deck. Tanner Roark has struck out this hitter swinging twice.
It's the first error in the season series for the Nats against the Mets, and the Mets only have 1.
Yeah.
So they've been catching it.
2 fewest error committing teams in the National League.
Some guys go better to their left than their right, and it seems like watching Daniel Murphy for the short time we have, he's much better to his glove side than he is to his right. Tanner trying to pick him up.
Yeah, that was 92 with some running, sinking action to it.
Wilson Ramos putting on a set of signs should Eric Campbell decide to go at first base. Throwing through. Not throwing through. Arm fake, go to third. A lot of things you could do in that situation.
0-2. Rivera in swing mode.
Now, it's just a huge moment in this ballgame. The way Matz has been pitching. Tanner Roark at 109 pitches. Wants to talk it over with Wilson Ramos. Big pitch coming. I mean, you get Rivera right here. Even though Steven Matz can hit, you're figuring you can find a way to wiggle out of this jam. So this pitch, this sequence right here, huge. Run's tough to come by today. And 4, 5, 6 due up for the Nats, so could be the ball game right here.
0-2 again with 1 out.
They elevated on Rivera last time for the strikeout, trying to do it again.
And he will drop one to left field to give the Mets a 2-0 lead. 0-2. Roark and Ramos kept pounding him inside, and he got his hands inside one. That's Rene Rivera's 4th RBI in 8 games as a Met.
Kind of in between on the height of this pitch. I think he either wanted to bury it down for the ground ball to third or elevate it over the letters for the possible punch out. But either way, a nice piece of hitting by Rene Rivera, putting his ball club up by 2.
Steven Matz 0 for 2. Scorched it right at Michael A. Taylor last time.
Got to be bunting right here, doesn't he? No.
You would think so, but he's trying to hack away. Terry Collins going for the 3 or 4 run lead here in the 7th inning.
Tim Tuffle shouted down to him and said, hey, pick up a sign here. So maybe they switched to a bunt after 1 strike.
Left-handed pitcher, right-handed hitter. To Rendon, step on the bag for 1, throw across. It's a 5-3 double play. The risk you run when you let the pitcher swing away. So the Mets pick up a run. Zimmerman, Rendon, and Ramos. Now it's a 2-run game. Baseball on Matson, brought to you by your local Kia dealers. Take advantage of Memorial Day weekend with great deals during the Kia Summers on Us sales event. And when you come down the ramp off of 395 right at South Capitol Street, it's Ryan Zimmerman Field. Beautiful artificial turf facility. Ryan told me he's very proud of it. Wants to give the kids in the district a chance to play baseball, but they can play soccer, football, other sports on the turf, which is within maybe a half mile of Nationals Park. Thank you, Ryan Zimmerman.
I want to see him take BP there and just launch him onto the freeway. I mean, there's already traffic. What's the difference?
Couple of hoods.
I mean, if he hits this one on his own field, it's causing a 10-car pileup. As it was, it was the first of back-to-back home runs off Matt Harvey and got this place jumping. The crowd was into it from the get-go last night. And Ryan Zimmerman got the party started with the first of 5. So we're trying to channel the Nats' inner home run right here. I'm in.
Last Nat to get a hit, Michael A. Taylor. 3rd inning, 11 straight for Mats. Ryan Zimmerman has bounced out to short and to first. Came into this game on a roll, 4 for 8 in the series. Perfect fastball if you're trying to avoid the pull side. Strike 1. Right there again.
Just guessing off speed. Had to be. Didn't think he'd go back-to-back heaters.
Up and in, they want it way up. Right now, Rivera just feels like he has to put his glove wherever and barely move it. Again. That time he's going to get the call. So there were 2 strikes to the outer edge. Ryan Zimmerman rung up on the inner edge that time. Only thing the Mets did wrong, Rivera threw the ball into left field.
I think DJ Rayburn's having a rough day. And I'll just leave it at that.
12 in a row by Matz, who doesn't need any help right now. And here's Rendon.
This is the same pitch, maybe even closer, that Ryan Zimmerman just struck out on. And that's a ball.
It's about the 5th time today Rendon's been late on a foul ball. 96 from Matz here in the 7th inning.
I said I'd leave it at that. I couldn't. Sorry. I lied to everybody.
And a 1-2 with 1 out.
Apologize.
Rendon jammed. Fly ball to Conforto. It's up to Wilson Ramos here in the 7th. Catch everything all season long. Follow Masson Nationals on Twitter. Check out highlights. Go behind the scenes and enter to win exclusive prizes. That's at Masson Nationals on Twitter.
Those guys look like they could all play the infield right now. They all played together. That was third base, shortstop, second, and first.
If they were behind Matz, they wouldn't have to do a whole lot. 1 ball on the infield. That was the Taylor bunt in the last 3 innings. Everything else strikeouts and fly balls. He had Ramos reaching, and now you look up, it's 0-2.
And he's only at 91 pitches too, so Terry Collins can run him back out there for the 8th if he decides to, or he can go to his setup man and closer.
Matz has never gone the distance in a big league game. Ramos to short. Matt Reynolds. That's it for the Nationals. Bottom of the 7th. 14 straight. The first time the Nats ever see Steven Matz. pitching is struggling. Mike Leake's actually been one of their better starters for the last couple of weeks, but the Nats have beaten him this season. 5 runs, 7 innings back on April 29th. Joe Ross, the day after that, he went 6 innings and 1 run, winning at Busch Stadium. So we begin Johnny and Ray, 6:30 tomorrow night. Nats Extra. St. Louis in for 4. Oliver Perez into the ball game, and the call to the bullpen packaged by the UPS store. Together, there's nothing we can't solve. Visit theupsstore.com for locations.
2 pitches, fastball, slider. Fastball average is 91, slider 79. 14 different windups and 10 different arm angles. Coming at you hot right here.
Top of the order, Granderson. 1 for 7 career against Oliver. A former Met who makes his first appearance of the series. So Tanner Roark done after 113 pitches, 25 strikes, 2 runs, 1 earned, 5 hits, and 7 really solid innings. Talk about a guy battling when he couldn't quite get that command of the fastball, and all he did was come out with a quality start and then some. This big swing and a miss on the Perez hook.
I don't see any walk. I mean, I know what you're saying about his fastball, but I thought he had a great tempo. He's getting ground ball outs. He was keeping the Mets off balance. Had some tough luck behind him. He pitched a great game today.
He did. I think that fastball got the pitch count up a little bit early. He had 45 pitches after 3 innings, 37 after 2. Walked only 1 guy. But that tells you something about Tanner Roark, the kind of day he had.
Quick pitch. See that? I mean, you're up there and you're David Wright. You're waiting for the Louis Tion thing, and he just went slide step, fastball.
And then David late.
And he was late. He was trying to ambush.
Wright 1 for 2 with a walk and a strikeout career against Perez.
I mean, how fun would it be to pitch if you had this many deliveries? I mean, it's like you have multiple personalities out there. I'm going to do this one. I wonder when he decides. We have to ask him when he decides what delivery he's going to do. Is it just winging it? Like, okay, 2-1, I'm going to do this one. Standard.
Yeah, facing the batter the whole time that time.
Yeah. I like that view. See what he does. It's just a spur of the moment thing, like what I'm feeling. I'm going to go with this one.
This will be close. Zimmerman over to have a look. Ball coming back toward him. And then Ryan getting twisted around just a bit. Can't squeeze it. Tough play with the sun. I was about to say that would be brutal to give him an error, and they just did.
Well, look at the sun lighting up his glasses.
They just gave him an error on that.
And you're talking about how it was coming back, Carp, and you described it perfectly. It was about 2 rows deep, and then it had that swing back, and you see him reaching back over his shoulder. So a lot of things going on right there.
That's a tough way to get your first error of the year.
He went a long way for that, too.
Two and 2 to David Wright.
Ooh.
Swinging a foul tip, 2 down. All right, Dan, you've had a conversation with Oliver about the windup. What gives?
I have, Bob. Oliver says that he kind of adjusts as he goes. He'll get into the windup and kind of play it by ear, see how he feels. There are specific times that going into a pitch, he knows that he wants to go with that quick pitch kind of hurry up thing, or that he's going to go fully Louis Tiant on it and turn his back to the hitter. But a lot of times he just kind of feels his way through it, depending on how he feels that given pitch.
That's the standard one. He's got a Louis Tiant, then he's got a Louis Tiant with a in it that kind of pauses as he turns his back. And his feet are all just discombobulated, and who knows what he's going to do, but I love it. I love watching this guy pitch. Yeah, that's the one.
One to Conforto, who's never faced Oliver until right now.
Drop down.
Front door curveball, strike 2.
Drop down slingaroo frisbee.
Had him reaching. Murphy right there to grab the line drive. So Perez bridges it to the bottom of the 8th. Heisey, Espinosa, and a pinch hitter straight ahead.
Perez. Here's the quick pitch. Be ready, David Wright. Got it by you. Here's the Johnny Cueto, Louis Tiant deals. Drop down slider. And then here's the standard. Last one. Slider in the dirt. So there's more arm angles and variations to all those. But we love Oliver Perez. He's so entertaining. He's so energetic. And a lot of times out of the bullpen, he changed the whole kind of feel of a game. He adds energy every time he comes in. Let's see if it translates to offense right here.
Who's going to be the next guy to get on base against Steven Matz? Hasn't happened since the 3rd inning. Heisey walked in the 2nd. Controversial strike call rang him up in the 5th inning.
Matz went 110 pitches against the Giants on April 29th. That's his high on the year. He's only been over 100 twice.
Heisey jammed in a fly ball to left for Cespedes, who has moved over there. As the Nats face the Mets' best outfield defense now. That puts Juan Lagares in center field. So Conforto out on a straight-up switch in the lineup in the number 3 spot.
Well, who's hopping on the on-deck circles? What I want to see right now. Is it going to be Bryce Harper? Or is it going to be Ben Revere? I think it depends on if Danny Espinosa gets on. If Espinosa gets on, it'd probably be Harper. If he doesn't, it'll probably be Revere. Dusty Baker looking for somebody right now down there. So you'd bring up Bryce if he represented the tie-in run. I think you'd bring up Ben if you needed a base runner to get the tie-in run to the plate.
And it's got to be a left-handed batter.
Or if Danny Espinosa gets on, I think it just dictates what Dusty Baker's going to do. Or does Bryce get the full day? We'll see.
Espinosa, chopper to third. David Wright extends, and that gives him time to make the throw. 2 down. It'll be Ben Revere.
Pretty good play by David Wright in for the bunt. That hard first hop off the dirt in front of the plate. Slings it sidearm. Pretty good play. And
well, this is surprising. Nats are down by 2. They've switched off from Revere to Clint Robinson. Usually it's the other way around. Clint's power can't tie the game.
Maybe Dusty saving Revere to pinch hit for Michael Taylor in the 9th. We'll see.
Or if Robinson gets on a pinch runner, Revere, we'll see.
All kinds of things going on here.
Clint Robinson, another Nat, never seeing Mats until he steps into the batter's box. He continues to work quickly, and he just missed. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. I mean, you better step in ready to hit.
Yeah. Mark Burley fast right here.
Robinson up the middle, well placed, base hit.
All right, here we go. Dusty looking for somebody in the dugout. Michael Taylor walking back. Nice at bat by Clint Robinson, who's now 2 for 4 off lefties on the year.
We'll see if he goes with a pinch runner.
Who we got? Drum roll.
I think the crowd will let you know.
Yeah, exactly. Dusty looking down the tunnel. Where is he? Secret weapon. There he is. Here I come to save the day. Watch. Let's listen to the crowd, actually. Well, you remember last time he had the day off against the Twins, he walked up in the bottom of the 9th and tied it up. So today, Bryce Harper with the day off, bottom of the 8th as the tying run. Let's see what happens.
But how about Dusty? Everybody thinking Ben Revere's going to hit here because you need a base runner. He goes with Clint Robinson, and then Clint gives you the base runner.
Dusty will tell you, don't try to think with me. And we just did. Love it.
So Bryce Harper as a pinch hitter this year, 1 for 1, 1 homer, 1 RBI. Two and 0.
Pitching around him? No.
Two-0 pitch. Strike call to Bryce.
Good pitch, good location. You want something a little closer to you if you're Bryce Harper right there. That's a pitcher's strike. Tip your cap. Go get him 2-1.
Harper a bouncer up the middle. Coming to get it. Reynolds, and that's it for the Nationals. In the bottom of the 8th, they've stranded 4 base runners today. 2-0 Mets. Cespedes, Walker, and Cabrera for the Mets. Johnny Holiday, Ray Knight in the ballpark. We invite you to tune into the Nats Extra Postgame Show presented by W.B. Mason when this one is over. So Blake Trinan on to try to keep this a 2-run game.
Sinker slider. Fastball mid to upper 90s, slider low to mid 80s. 22nd appearance. You see the opponent's average. Righties hitting 244, lefties 238. So Blake Trinan trying to keep it a 2-0 game.
Ben Revere in center after Harper hit for Taylor. Cespedes has lined out hard to the outfield twice today. Goes up hacking against Blake Trinan and slams that one off of his lower left leg, it appeared. Straight down he went.
Well, if it didn't hit a pad, that would be shocking news. He almost has a catcher's shin guard on his left leg. Yeah, that's a lot of stuff.
Breaking ball. Chris Heisey, right field. Next up, Neil Walker, who's had a good day and a good series, followed by Matt Reynolds, who has had a good day. Walker 0 for 2 career against Blake. He makes his second appearance of the series. With the Nats well behind on Monday night, he came out and pitched the 6th and the 7th, scoreless, 1 hit, 2 strikeouts. Jerry's Familia is 15 for 15 this year. But as FP often says in this case, maybe it's anybody but Matz, who's thrown 104 pitches. Walker skips away from that one. 2 balls, 1 strike.
A little cut to that fastball from Blake Trinan, 94. I don't know if that anybody but Matt's rules applies to Familia. He's dirty. We'll see.
I know, but every closer has to blow one sooner or later.
This guy might have the best stuff in the big leagues. We'll see. I mean, yeah, everybody has an off day once in a while. And the Nats are hoping today's that day.
Not sure I want to look at the matchup numbers, but we'll have it ready for you in the bottom of the 9th. Walker held his swing, 3-2.
You want to try to jinx him some more? He has 31 consecutive saves dating back to August 1st last year. That's pretty good.
Yeah, untouchable. Although 2 of the 3 hitters due up have done decently against him.
And first
swing and a miss.
Yeah, got to keep it a 2-run game. Pretty good slider right here by Blake Triton, and watch him get on top of this. I love the Exmo. The release, look at the spin on that. Geared up for 96, then you get that. Nice pitch.
Matt Reynolds, 1 for 2. A base on balls, his first major league hit. He's been busy at shortstop.
He's had a nice day in emergency duty. Scored a run. His first big league hit, walked. Didn't know he was playing. Thrown in there last second. Had a nice day.
Yeah, didn't have all morning to sit around and worry about it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Well, Ramos went ahead and tagged the batter. But on the appeal, John Hirschbeck said no swing. 2 outs, top of the 9th. 2-0 game. Nats will have to rally to keep the Mets from leaving town a half game back. To short, Danny Espinosa. All right, here we go. You want to face the best of the best? It's Familia with Worth, Murphy, and Zimmerman coming up. All right, Johnny, thank you, and thank you, Ray. Jason Worth is 3 for 9 career against Familia, who's 15 for 15 in saves this year.
31 consecutive saves. So fastball 96, slider 86. He's got a split finger that's 95, and we've seen it as high as 98 before. It drops off a table. So I think until you represent the tie and run, you make him throw strikes, get him in the zone. Maybe he gets wild, walks a few guys. Not too many opportunities today. Danny Espinosa with the hard luck out right here with the runners on first and second in the second inning. Then Michael Taylor got a great jump right here, and for some reason slid way too soon, didn't get to the bag and got thrown out, if that's an opportunity. And then Bryce Harper had a chance. But like you said, 7 home runs in the game last night, and today just a different story.
Strike 1 to Worth. Jason Worth 3 for 9 with a walk career against Familia. Murphy obviously has not faced his former teammate who did not pitch in the series in New York or here till this point. And then Ryan Zimmerman, who's 1 for 4 against him with an RBI. So it's 0-2. Target way outside from Rivera. Worth goes around and hooks it to left. And Jason Worth now 4 for 10 against Familia.
All right, game on. Here we go.
Here comes the tying run to the plate on a couple of occasions.
I'll tell you what, there's not too many hitters in the league that can reach that pitch. Jason Worth is like 6'8", and he just reached his arms out and hooked a slider on the black away to left field. I think he's 7'2" actually, but don't let the facts get in the way of a good swing. And now Daniel Murphy would love to atone for the error right here.
Murphy 1 for 3 today with an infield hit. 2-0 ball game, bottom of the 9th. Base hit left field. The line has started to move, and Ryan Zimmerman is next.
All right. Getting interesting here at Nats Park in the bottom of the 9th. Daniel hits Murphy with another 2-hit game in the shocking news department.
Yeah, and that happens for the 24th time this year. Unbelievable. Ryan Zimmerman against Familia. 1 for 4 career with a run batted in.
Crowd into it.
38,700 today. It's considered a sellout. Outfield really deep, around to the right some. No doubles because the tying run's on first. Ryan steps out, Familia steps off.
Ryan didn't swing his last at-bat, and I've seen him a lot after at-bats like that come out hacking and try to ambush. Let's see if he goes first pitch hunting here. Good take.
Way outside.
Big stop.
And quite a pick by Rivera. It hit the dirt, and he kept runners from moving up.
Now 2-0 game. That's a huge play by Rene Rivera. That's about a 58-foot slider from Familia. And look at him glove that to the backhand and keep everybody right where they're at. And you could steal a base off Familia. You don't want to do it with no outs. But if the situation presents itself with 1 out, look for Jason Worth and Daniel Murphy to run. He is really deliberate to the plate. But first things first, 2-out count for Ryan Zimmerman.
2 balls, no strikes. And Worth started and then stopped, and it's a good thing he did. Looked like it might have been ball 3 off the plate inside. Ryan is swinging a miss.
It looked like it might have been a wiffle ball. Watch this at 96. Are you kidding me? Ryan Zimmerman saw a fastball right down the middle. He went to swing, and this is a 96-mile-an-hour split finger from Jeurys Familia.
And you know, if Rivera doesn't make those 2 plays, it's 2-1 with a runner at third right now.
Right. Well, maybe they choose a different pitch. You never know. But
2 balls, 1 strike. So Ryan swung at a pitch in. That one where he could extend his arms away, and the count's even 2-2. Familia strikes out Zimmerman after the count was 2-0. Next up, Anthony Rendon.
Yeah, it's just a two-seamer right there at 97 with some run to it. He just reached back and threw it as hard as he could.
Rendon against Familia, career 1 walk, 0 for 6.
Well, you still got that wild pitch in your back pocket if you're Jason Worth or Daniel Murphy. You're looking for a ball in the dirt, and you're also, if he doesn't pay attention to Jason Worth at second, I'm watching Daniel Murphy. He's watching Worth like a hawk. He's ready to run if Jason does. Be a big gamble, but he's so slow to the plate, and if you get a good jump, why not?
Big gap left center. Looks like they want to work Rendon away. 2 years since Anthony's lone walk-off hit. Counts even, 1-1. Strike 2.
97 with some run back to it. A backdoor sinker from Familia. Started off the plate away and caught the corner.
Rendon right side. That ball smoked. Nobody there to cover first. And the runners are at first and third with 2 down for Wilson Ramos.
He can't hit any better than that. And look at that, he got a fastball away, drills it, and you're thinking that's in right field, but look at where Eric Campbell's playing. So the shift works for the Mets. He's way off the base. A lot of times with the tie and run at first, teams will play no doubles right there where the first baseman's actually guarding the line. But the Mets go against what a lot of teams do, and it works for them. A tie and run on first base, you see first baseman hugging the line in that situation, and that time not the case, and it worked.
There's Wilson Ramos. And against Familia, career 0 for 3. Tying run still at first base. Check swing, strike 1.
Nothing straight. I mean, it's all upper 90s and it's moving everywhere. Still getting some good swings off.
Ramos to third, slow roller David Wright. And the Mets take 2 out of 3 from the Nationals. Steven Matz spectacular today. Matz and Familia spin a 6-hit shutout. And now the Nationals lead in the East is down to a half game. Well, quite a series. See these guys again up in New York soon and back in D.C. not for a while. For FP and Dan, Bob Carpenter, the Mets win it 2-0. St. Louis in for the opener of a 4-game series tomorrow night. That's extra 6:30. This has been a presentation of Masson and from the ballpark. So long for just a while.